I got a new mug for my birthday last week. All right, everybody. Hi, my name is Alexa, and this is an intro video, and what I need you to know are that there are two things on this channel that I am going to be wildly unapologetic about. And so, in the spirit of setting expectations, I wanted to start this video off with letting you know that. The two things are, one, Jesus is king in this house and in my life. So that is, and he is, who everything that I talk about really comes back to that. The interior design, the hospitality, the spiritual formation, all of that centers on him. So if that's not something you're interested in or really want to know about, now you know. The second thing that I'm going to be unapologetic about is that you matter. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this channel is like, why are you starting a YouTube thing? Why? You know, you've got 4 kids, you homeschool, you live on a homestead that you have to take care of. And the thing is I just can't stop talking about hospitality and interior design and spiritual formation and how they're all together. But ultimately it's because I believe that you matter. And I believe that whoever watches these videos, my prayer is that you come away with a sense of knowing that you belong. That's literally what I think I give my life to, is wanting people to know that they belong, that they matter, that they are welcome. And for me, that's grounded in the fact that I believe that that's what Jesus says about us. He is so invitational. Over and over and over again, you read in the scriptures of a Messiah, the Messiah, our Lord, who invites and invites and invites and invites. Whether you were a Pharisee, when you think of some of the conversations he had, they were invitations. When you think about the tax collectors, quite literally invited, right? Matthew. When you think about the people who are looked down upon in society at the time, they were invited. The Samaritan woman that he meets at the well, right? Invited to know who he is. And so I, as someone who wants to practice the ways, follow the ways of Jesus, I also desire to have that be a part of my whole life. And that's actually why we bought this property we live on. So to give you some of the background on me, now that we have those two things you know that will always be a part of everything that we do here, and is the heartbeat behind what it is that I do on this channel, on my sister channel, where I talk about the homestead and the chickens, chickens are currently running right now. I gotta show you. A group of them just went over there. You can't see it now. Look at those babies. Okay, we're back. When the chickens are there, I gotta show you. If the goats come by, let me move that. If the goats come by, I'll show you those too. Anyway, what we talk about on this channel, interior design, and my goal is to help people who are just wanting to know what they can do in their home to help make it, whether it's cozier, if there are issues where they're like, I just need to, help troubleshooting some problems. That's what I'm here for. I really believe that all of our lives can shout to the glory of God. Point blank. Every part of it. Jesus, he talks about how even the stones will cry out at the time that he's on the colt, right? On the donkey going, and he's being blessed. Hosanna, which is one of my kids' names, by the way. But anyway, like as that's happening, and afterwards, it was like the Pharisees who were like, yo, tell them to stop saying that. And Jesus is like, if they didn't do it, the stones would cry out. Like, that is a line right there. That's a bar, right? That's crazy. If they don't do it, the stones will cry out and shout of the truth that Jesus is here, right? The blessed be the name of the Lord. I love that story so much. And it, for me, is the reason why I do this. Why I think our homes can shout to the glory of God. I absolutely believe that the places in which we dwell, and this can be, our homes is what I focus on, but this is also for the teacher who has the classroom. This is for the coffee shop. Love coffee shops. You'll learn that about me. Like all of those the church, like the building of a church, because the church is God's people. But when I think of the place that we often meet, it's just often in a building. That too should be shouting of the glory of the Lord. Like when we design those places intentionally, submitting them to him, creating in communion with God these special places that we dwell, I truly believe that they can shout to his glory. And that is what motivates me to say, how can we take the design tips, that the science of design and all of the technical pieces of it, and then the art of design, and have those things be married together with Christ at the center. And so wherever we're creating is created with him constantly as the center. And for me, I focus on hospitality because I believe that hospitality is a beautiful expression of what it is that we're trying to create in our homes. Hospitality is, to me, it's about welcome and service and generosity. It's about relationship with love as the foundation. And when we are hospitable people, we reflect the hospitable heart of God, right? That is what when I'm thinking about interior design and home design, that is what I am considering. That is how I have approached homes of people who have asked me to come and help them decorate and design in their spaces, and that's definitely the ways that I have approached all of the homes that we've lived in, including this one, our cottage here at Philo. We have done a lot of renovating and work on it. I will be sharing that over these videos that I make to give you an idea of what it looks like to design with hospitality in mind. But that's like the heartbeat, or the foundation, everything that's behind it. And so I wanted to share that because, again, I like it to be clear. I want people to know what they're getting here, what the purpose is. And I have so many friends and other people that I've met who, when they hear that vision of creating and of home design, that hits them in a different way. There are people who are like, yes, this is what I want. I don't want to just create something pretty. I want to create something that is both beautiful and has depth. Beauty to me points to hope, as in capital H, hope, Jesus, right? And that depth, the depth is where you're getting your story, where you are you're in the world and you're made with these unique pieces of who you are and what you're about and what you've come from. And you get to share that with others who come in. And my prayer, at least for my family and our home, is that, and it is my prayer for you too, is that we become a hospitable people, yes, in our homes, that we are formed into people of greater love and welcome and generosity and service, right? And all of that. But that we take that out. I believe that the place where we are formed, that our dwelling place, as we are formed even more deeply, meeting Jesus, receiving his hospitality, and then pouring that out to the people that we live with, whether it's a husband and kids, or it could be grandparents, or aunts and uncles, or cousins, or friends who live with you. There are many different living situations. You could have roommates, like whoever it is that lives with you, and you might live by yourself, but also considering who you're inviting in. We want to show hospitality to those people. I often call them our first neighbors. But we want to be able to show hospitality not only to our first neighbors, not only to the people we invite in, but we want to embody it everywhere we go. And I believe that interior design and being intentional about that can help us to be formed into those types of people, so that no matter where we are embodying a hospitality that reflects the hospitable heart of God and is an invitation to all those we encounter to know the love of God and to be set free. That's what Jesus invited us into, to know him, to love him, to follow him, and to also get to know, love, and set free others in his name, to be in relationship. We need each other. And so that's what I want to encourage us in, especially right now. There's a lot going on in society, and whatever your experience is with all of that, I think we can all own that there's a lot happening. And there's a lot of pain, a lot of hardship, a lot of suffering. I genuinely believe that hospitality is one way to fight against that. Instead of pushing people away, we can welcome them in. Because again, that's what I saw Jesus do. That's what we read in his scripture. And so I think that is what we get to do to the glory of his name. So, with our homes and with our lives, that's what I want to encourage us in. And this video is really just meant to give that invitation to you. To say, we're going to talk about things like the last video I just posted was about planes and openings and lighting in a room, because I want to help you know how to design with intentionality and have an understanding. So there's a lot of education to what we're going to be talking about and as far as interior design, and then we'll definitely be hitting a lot of the spiritual formation aspect. So one of the other videos I just posted was about focal points, and it looks at focal points from the interior design perspective, but also the spiritual formation perspective. What do focal points have to do with spiritual formation? You'll have to watch the video to find out. It's at the very end, but to me that's incredibly important to just, again, the whole design process and ways we can be rethinking how we go about creating the different spaces in our room, in our homes. And so that's definitely something I recommend that you check out if you are interested in more. In future videos, I think the one that I have up next coming is about lines, including sight lines and other things. But we're just gonna have some fun. I'm excited to just have fun and show what's going on. I realize maybe there's some other things I should share about our background. I mentioned that we live on 10 acres. I have a different channel where I actually talk more about what we're doing in the garden and all of the things. But I think it's important to let you know that one of the things that we're doing here at Philo, which is the name of our property, which is short for philoxenos, which is the Greek word for hospitality. And I know I just said that really fast. I don't speak Greek, so I probably said that incorrectly. So sorry to my Greek speaking friends. But that word, and it's really, I say Philo, it technically should be like philo, but whatever. So Philo is the name of it, Philo, and we called it that because of the meaning in hospitality and love of stranger, love to stranger, but because that was such a long word, we shortened it to the Philo. And what we're doing here is really just trying to create a space where we welcome people to come to be loved. We have served everything from homeschool groups. I actually just had a co-op like a couple hours, they left like less than an hour ago, but a co-op group here. We have partnered with different organizations. One of them is an organization here in Atlanta that serves women coming out of sex trafficking. So we've gotten to do different events with them here. We've had fishing events. We've had a wedding here. We've done lots of different things, different events. And that's why we bought this property. We wanted to be a place for people to be able to come and to connect with God, themselves, and others. That was incredibly important to us. And it is literally our mission on this property, and the way that we use our home, the way that we consider just everything that goes into what we do here. Even our animals is in part we got them because we wanted to be able to give people an opportunity to see some goats and chickens, because it brings delight and joy, and not everyone always has access to that. And so we were trying to think, what are the things that we can do to be a place of respite and a place of play? And it stems from when I used to work in homelessness and addiction recovery when I lived in Portland, Oregon. And we used to serve people that in our addiction recovery program, they would sometimes get to go to properties like the one we live on. And we had a men's program and we had a women and children's program. And I remember when people from the program would get to go to these properties and just have a day to be. And I thought that was so beautiful. And it impacted me then to see the generosity of people just opening up their space like that. But I didn't realize that it was going to so revolutionize my life to where I would end up trying to do the same exact thing. I had no idea that this is where we were going to be. I never wanted to live in the South. I never wanted to have land or animals. I didn't want to ever homeschool. I mean, I told God no to a lot of things, and blessed be the name of the Lord that he was like, ha. You know, I hear you, daughter, but I got something else for you. And here I am. And honestly, I love this life. It's not perfect. It's definitely not easy, but it is good. Because hard isn't bad, right? And so I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for the ways that my perspective changed. I'm thankful for what we get to do here, and I am excited to bring you along for the ride. So we got a lot that we're going to be covering over the next however long with the different videos that we do. But just remember, again, the two main things are that I want Jesus' name to be glorified, and that is my hope and my prayer with this. And I want you to know that you matter. And I want to say it over and over and over again, because there is so much in our lives that tell us that we don't. There's so many lies, things that we're saying to ourselves and things that are being said to us. And I genuinely hope that for every ear that hears my voice right now, that you believe that God loves you, desires you, and created you on purpose. And so if you haven't heard that and been reminded of that, if you are a mama who is struggling right now, really struggling, know that I get it. that these little people we get to love are some of the greatest, or maybe yours are even older kids, maybe even adults. But these children you get to love and care for can also be the ones who break you in ways you never knew you could be broken. Not because they're bad, it's just sometimes what comes with motherhood. Know that you're seen, and this is really in large part for you. Grace and Cherish came to be many years ago in a time when I was desperate and so sad. But out of it came something beautiful, where the Lord met me, and so it is my encouragement to get to meet you. But there are others of you who are dealing with illnesses. You might be dealing with loss. Someone in your life might be gone and you're grieving. Some of you might just be excited because you've got you're in a new transition in life, and you're here because you want to learn about interior design and like how to do things in your home, and it's new and it's fresh, and that is good. Wherever you are, whether you're experiencing the greatest joys or the lowest lows, know that you are welcome. And I don't know what God has for you in all of this, but I know that He will meet you. So I'm going to end on that. I bless you. I thank you for spending time with me. I look forward to being on this journey. And if there's anything that you are interested in learning about, please share it in the comments. And also just share if you're okay with it. I would love to hear who has seen this video. What do you think? How are you doing? Where are you from? I would love to know more about you if you're willing to share it in the comments. But I think one thing in particular is I would love to know, when it comes to hospitality, interior design, spiritual formation, and homesteading. We can put homesteading or even homeschooling, because that's my world. Those are all the things that make up my world. I would love to know if there's anything you want to know about that. So feel free to share it in the comments. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, onward and hope. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, as promised, there's the goat real quick. Well, one of them. I got two. That's Sheena. I'm sure you'll learn more about them later. Okay, bye, guys.